This is the Bear Country Outdoors Barely a Podcast. I'm your host, Doug Joyce, and with me is James Forsland and Chris Cantrell. Thanks for joining.
Well, here we are. We are doing a podcast once again. Feels like it's been a long time. You guys have been gone for a minute.
We've been gone.
It's been, what, a month?
It's been over a month since we did the last podcast.
Yeah, that seems about right.
I've been in the woods.
Yeah, right in the middle of hunting season. You guys went on your once-in-a-lifetime hunts.
Yeah.
Dude.
And you guys made it happen.
We got some stories.
Oh, we got the stories, that's for
Got lots
sure.
of stories.
Yep.
Some sad stories, some happy stories, some wild stories.
Yeah.
Even some inappropriate stories.
Well, the funny thing is like when you sent me that picture and the communication through the text obviously didn't go through properly because I thought you passed that buck.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell is he thinking?
You're like, what an idiot.
Yeah, what a dumbass. And then come to find out that you actually did shoot it.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that story. That's part of that's a sad story.
Sad story. Well, let's not keep them too long.
With a happy ending. But before we get into those, let's talk about our fundraiser that we have going on this month on December 20th at Bertelsen Winery.
Bertelsen Winery.
A good friend of ours, Steve Bertelsen, and his family run Bertelsen Winery, and we are using that as our event space for a fundraiser for HOWL, HOWL.org.
Great people.
Yeah, fight for your hunting rights.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They do a lot of work for us.
They do.
And, you know, I've had this conversation quite a few times, especially in the last week. There's a lot of organizations, there's a lot of nonprofits out there, a ton of them, especially in the hunting space. There's big names that people will, recognize almost anywhere in the country. And there's organizations like HOWL that are really, fairly new and smaller. And I can't think of any nonprofit hunting organization outside of two of them that are doing more than HOWL in the hunting space. There's a lot of big hunting organizations, nonprofits that are sitting on their hands all the time.
Yeah.
They collect a big paycheck and they sit on their hands and they don't get involved. And HOWL is a in the fist fight, bloody knuckle organization that should be appreciated.
Our kind of organization. I think we partner with organizations like that like punch above their weight, Mm-hmm. Like they're not the biggest, but man, they freaking know how to throw a punch.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and we've had some huge issues come up in the last couple of years in the hunting world.
Yeah.
And HOWL has been a huge part of defeating a lot of the really bad ones.
Mm-hmm.
We've lost a few here and there, especially locally in Washington, but they've been with us step for step ever since the beginning with our battle here.
Yeah.
Since they were founded, they were hands-on. So we're going to try to raise some money for them. So if you are available December 20th,
what time?
Winery. It's going to start at 5, probably go till 8.
It's going to be a hoot.
It's going to be awesome, dude.
It's going to be prizes.
There's going to be lots of prizes.
Live auction.
Live auction, silent auction.
Silent auction.
Yep. There's going to be some random little prize giveaway games that happen during the event.
Okay.
It is a themed event, which we thought would be kind of silly and fun.
Which I'm excited about.
Yes, and it is a ugly Christmas sweater fundraising party.
Yeah.
So there will be wine, there will be beer.
There will be beer.
There will be food.
There will be food.
There will be a guy, if you don't know who this is, go look him up right now, called the Flip Flop Guy.
Oh, yeah.
He does full hindquarters of animals, wild game, on charcoal, like super high heat, and he has a special Flip Flop Guy sauce that he has patented and uses like a sage brush, brushes it on, sears it super high heat, then flips it and then trims it, and he just keeps doing that all the way until it's down to the bone. So that's going to be available for free, donated by your one and only Mr. Chris Cantrell from his hunt.
So I'm not gonna lie. It was a big ask from James. And it was a big give from me.
It was a big give, dude. I don't know. I told Chris I felt bad because like I would have saved one of my hindquarters and he could have gave one of his hindquarters, but I had already butchered my deer, so it looks like Chris is on the hot seat. So.
both my hindquarters and that thing. I hung it in Brandon's walk-in cooler, and I mean, dude, you could,
aged it perfect.
Dude, you could literally pull it off the bone with your fingers. I mean, it's
gonna be so delicious.
I was pulling the back straps out, and I ripped one in half.
Oh man!
And I wasn't even pulling hard.
That's how you know it's gonna be aged very well.
You could just, dude, and it was just like it was perfect. It's gonna be really good.
Yeah, that's definitely the way to do it for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So we can't sell wild game meat, but it will be basically donated as just to have a little taste while you're there.
I'm gonna give it away to all my friends and
friends
and all my new friends.
Yep,
it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be awesome. So there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff.
You got some new donations, right? So obviously all of our regular sponsors have donated stuff.
Yep.
Which are fantastic, which we obviously put at the end of this podcast. If you guys don't ever use any of our sponsors, we appreciate it if you would, because you support people who support you. Tell me about some new ones you got.
Well, there's some local ones. There's a little company that we like to support. I'm wearing one of their hats right now, called TNT Wild Game. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
I was going to say that's a pretty dope hat, dude.
Yeah, they agreed that they would donate a cut and wrap and possibly even process included with that.
That's definitely not John.
That's a gem for sure.
Oh, dude,
because
that's a banger.
The chances of you getting something in there if you don't know the guy are pretty slim.
Yeah, right. So Emery, she stepped up and she's kind of running the show for Grandpa over there.
I like that. Strong work.
Yeah. So they're going to donate. Another local company that you might recognize, Riverside Archery.
Oh, yeah.
They donated some stuff.
Big fans of those guys.
We had quite a few other companies reach out. We have, like Eberly Stock said they'd donate Bino Harness System, one of their brand new recon systems, will actually look pretty dope.
Nice.
There is some clothing companies that are going to be donating. There is obviously like all of our gun people. I'm still working on a couple other companies that have said they were going to donate, and I'm not going to commit to some of the other ones because I haven't gotten them in my hands yet. But there's some pretty cool stuff. There's a famous photographer. I think his page is called Untamed Images. Like one of the most world-renowned wildlife photographers. He said that he would donate one of the large prints that you can go and actually pick whichever photo of his from his website that you want and print it on either canvas or metal.
Ooh.
Which would be cool. So if no one snags that up, I'm going to buy it.
I was going to say.
It's pretty dope. I mean,
I'm sure we're all going to donate stuff, and then I'm going to be like,
our own things.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't have one of those.
I know how
I'll be buying your stuff. You'll be buying my stuff.
Right. Yeah.
I should just write a check to Charles and stay home.
There's going to be some there's going to be some knives, different assorted knives that will be there, possibly from multiple companies. I just got in the mail today some really cool kudu broadheads, the two blade with the bleeders and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they're specially engraved, laser engraved HOWL.org.
No way.
Broadheads. Yeah.
Nice.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So
Big
I got
time.
a bunch of sets of those. I got 125 grain and 100 grain broadheads. And I don't know if you've looked into them, but they're freaking expensive. They're like $60 a pop for like a 3-pack. So they're not cheap. They're nice, really nice broadheads. That's what I like to shoot, is the kudus.
Nice.
Huge hole. Like,
I like a big hole.
yeah. Two blades are coming back, dude.
Two blades are coming back.
They are coming back.
They're coming back.
I'm sure there's a bunch of other stuff that I can't think of right off the top of my head. But yeah, dude, we're going to have a ton of really cool stuff, and we're getting more and more donations as we speak. If you have a small company locally in the
We'd love to have you.
Western Washington area that you'd like to donate, or even if you are, have like a small business that has a product that you'd like to help donate to the cause, you can reach out to me through the social media on Bear Country, or you can call Chris's cell phone directly.
1-800.
1-800-CANTRAIL. Or you can reach out through our website, I think, too, probably.
Yeah.
There's a way.
Speaking of, I know you did like some Eventbrite thing to buy tickets.
Yes. So tickets we wanted to keep really, really reasonable, so that people didn't feel like they were.
It's like $20, right?
Yeah, $20 for
I think it's
tickets.
$23.
Yeah.
Oh, because they have like a service fee or something.
Yeah, there's like a service fee, but
that goes to
gives
HOWL.
you.
It
It's
goes to HOWL, and it also gets you entered for a door prize or
Right.
some sort of prize at the end, is what it says in the event.
Yeah, so it'll be like we're going to give away some sort of a prize for a door prize, right? And it'll be a good prize. Like, it's not going to be a crappy prize. It's going to be a good one.
Doug's going to take his shirt off and sign it
You
and
get
give it to you.
date night with Doug. Congratulations, ladies. Sorry, Cassie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Some old ladies, I get Doug for the night.
Yeah, you guys are going to call me up at the end of the night. We're all shmish-mash. And be like, okay,
I sold
how
you-
much for Doug?
Yeah, we sold them off for $3,000.
We're getting $3,000 for Doug. We're selling Doug.
I think we should do it. I think it'd be hilarious.
That would be
Oh,
hilarious.
dude. So the old ladies are going to show up in full force now.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. So she's going to be wearing I can already see it now, like a tinsel, like a green tinsel Christmas tree
We'll have to get a
dress or
giant
something.
bow so we can strap a giant bow on ourselves. Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing that we're going to have. We're going to have a really, really nice, brand new, I can't remember if it's Bowtech or, I think it's a Bowtech, magnesium. It's like a magnesium bow. Super, I guess that's the new fad. It's like magnesium's lightweight, like super lightweight, but
Really?
strong. But anyways, we're going to have one of those. Really nice bow. It's
Do
like,
you know who makes it?
I think Bowtech. It's either Bowtech or Hoyt.
Are you sure it's magnesium? Because I'm pretty sure all the bow companies have been going with carbon.
Nope, magnesium, Doug.
Okay.
It's magnesium. And then I talked to the guys at Riverside.
I'm
going to
hold you to it, Jim.
I don't know. That's what Charles told me, okay?
Doug, you listen to me.
Listen
I
to me.
know what
Hey,
I'm talking
we're
about.
not that many drinks deep yet. Hey, we can't be there yet.
Yeah, so anyways, yeah, dude, if you haven't bought tickets already, you should buy them immediately after hearing this, because by the time this comes out, we've sold quite a few tickets already, and we only have a limited number. I think the venue space we have set for 175 tickets. So you
It's gonna be
snooze,
good.
You lose. You don't want to lose out on this.
I think, it's a good time of year to get together for like the hunting community. It's like nothing's going on December 20th.
Yeah, we picked a little bit better time than we did on the last event.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually did on the weekend.
And not in the middle of the season.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, our last event was incredible.
Yeah.
It was,
I mean,
yeah.
we knocked it out
Awesome.
of the park. People
Yeah.
showed up and, contributed and had fun. And we drank a bunch of beer, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
So I hope this is the same. I really do. I hope it's better.
I think it's going to be better.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
It's gonna be we're gonna be there
Yep.
with our Christmas cheer
Yep.
and our giving spirit.
That's right. We're going to get everyone in a frenzy to want to give to HOWL
Yeah.
so that we can do some other cool stuff in the hunting space.
And not to like pull on the old heartstrings, but Jesus, you were just telling me a story where Charles was on a hunt and his whole friggin' shit and truck and trailer burned down.
Yeah. Yeah.
First day of the hunt.
Yeah. It was and you see stuff like that, and I don't know about you guys, but I can relate. Like, I felt for him. Because it's like, dude, I know what it's like to try to build up gear.
Oh.
Like, it takes a long time to build your kit out and, like, get all your gear gathered and all your special clothes and your boots you had to break in. And,
Yeah.
you got your tags and you got your special pack, and you probably have a bunch of sentimental stuff,
Knife,
Oh,
guns.
there's always sentimental stuff
Yep.
when it comes
Bows.
to shit like that.
Bows, yeah. I mean, he lost his bow, he lost his pack, he lost all of his gear, his binos, his tripod, everything. Everything. I don't think he salvaged anything but like a couple pieces of clothing out of his truck and trailer. So
Dude, that sucks.
yeah, I mean that's a tough loss. So
Yeah.
just another reason, to help out for the holidays, because
He's down in the dumps right now.
yeah,
For sure. For sure.
it's
And he's still fighting the fight.
he's still fighting the fight. He
He's
fights
gonna-
the fight for us.
He's going to come up here and I'm going to feed him some whitetail. I'm probably going to tell some
Horrible stories.
Terrible stories.
Inappropriate ones.
Very elongated.
That lasts probably like 5 hours.
Drunk, long stories.
Hold on, I need a drink for this one.
Yeah, you better get two.
Yeah.
You going to the bathroom? I'll go with you. Let's go.
Poor Charles.
Oh, he's in for it.
Yeah.
It's like that Geico commercial where the dude's talking to him while he's in the bathroom outside the door.
Speaking of long stories, let's get into some.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now that we talked about the event, let's dive into some hunt stories.
Yeah.
So what do you want to start?
So you guys went on some once-in-a-lifetime hunts, right? You had some once-in-a-lifetime
They were
tags.
once in a lifetime.
For me,
sure.
Doug, yeah, I'm about dead. It took 18 years for me and 26 for James.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit past my prime, but you know what? I felt pretty good.
Yeah.
I guess we could start with mine since I struck first, and then we can go into
Yeah, you let her rip, Peter Chip.
Chris's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or-
because Chris usually tells the long story, so maybe we should tell your story
We could do a
first.
weave. We could I could
Oh, my
start,
gosh,
and then
here
we
we
could
go.
jump into Chris's, and then we could just go back and forth until we complete them, which would be the entire podcast.
Should we go day by day?
Sure.
We'll talk about each day.
Dude,
Kinda.
that's a lot
I
of
sat and watched Letterkenny all day long.
That day it rained, and I did not get out of my underwear. No.
I had about 3 glasses of whiskey.
All right, well, I'll kick it off. So,
Talk about what we did or what you guys did.
So, long story short, I put in for this tag for 26 years and finally drew it. And it's in a unit that we had a lot of history in growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we hunted it when we were younger quite a few times. My dad, it was one of the first places that he hunted growing up. It was the first place he shot a mule deer. So that was kind of cool. So I finally get this tag. And you know how you build stuff up in your head? You're like, oh man, it's gonna be like shooting fish in a barrel.
Especially when Heartsock sends you
Oh yeah, it tricks me into thinking that there's some.
Dude, he had me fooled.
Oh, he had me
100%.
fooled too, and I was just like, I was so angry. I almost didn't talk to him for like 2 days after that, dude. I was so angry. But
Do you know what we're
anyways,
talking about, Chris?
Yeah.
The
So
picture.
the viewers that don't know, our hilarious friend Matt Hartsock had texted a picture to James saying, "Oh, dude." Because the season opened already. James was going.
Yeah.
Our tags were good for the November 1st to the 20th. So it's like what, the 5th or something? Did he text you?
yeah, it was like the 6th or 7th, and I left on the 10th.
And so he texts James a picture of a gigantic, massive mule deer, and goes, "Dude, this was shot in your unit yesterday."
Yeah.
I was just like,
From the road.
yeah, and I'm just like, no.
And it was an old dude too
Yeah.
in the picture.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my god,
It's like probably like a 230-inch non-typical.
dude, it
mule
was
deer.
so big."
With drop tines on
Yeah.
both sides.
Dude,
Yeah.
just
Like, what?
I was like, no, that was my buck. So yeah, thanks a lot, Matt.
hilarious.
So in my head, though, that's kind of the buck that I had in my head, right?
Right.
Like I thought, I'm gonna hunt till the bitter end, and like I'm just gonna pick through them all, and I have this idea of what I want to shoot, which is, like, to be honest with you, like I wanted to shoot like 180 would be like the smallest buck I would shoot, right?
Right.
Thanks,
Well-
Heartsock.
26 years.
Yeah, and this unit does produce those bucks. I mean, it has in the past. So I wait till the second half of the season, which is the 10th through the 20th, and I have that full time blocked out. I told the old lady I'm not coming home till the 21st, because I thought I'd be hunting till the last day, because I was like, if I tag out, I'm gonna go help Chris and help him fill his tag if he hasn't, and then he was gonna do the same. If he had filled his tag, he was gonna come down and help me. So the 10th comes around, and like a few days prior, my son, I have to talk with him, because I like to wait till the last minute to tell my kids that I'm leaving for like a while, because
Yeah.
I just don't want to.
Yeah.
I just don't like dealing with it. They get super upset,
Oh, dude.
And now that I started taking Easton with me more, he's like, "Oh, I'm going too," and I'm like thinking to myself, like, he had just rolled his ankle really bad.
Oh, dude.
And so he had like a sprained ankle, but he's like, he's like, I really want to go. And I'm like, man, I don't know if I'll have another opportunity with a tag like this. Like, he should be able to experience it. But he's missed a ton of school because I take him out all the time to do stuff.
Right.
And take him hunting. And I just started,
Meh.
and then I started thinking, dude, who really cares? I don't care if the school flunks him or
Education
whatever.
system
Like,
sucks anyway.
yeah,
so
I'm like,
cares?
he's gonna learn a lot more with me anyway. So
Something
I tell
that's
him,
more
sure, let's go.
meaningful.
Yeah. So he comes with me, and my plan is that he's gonna stay with me for 3, maybe 4 days, and then my wife is gonna drive up to the top of the pass, and she's gonna meet me. And I'm going to do the swap and send him back home because he can't stay with me the whole time. And also, in a way, like, I was like, yeah, if it happens with him, great. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't happen with him, like, at least he got to be there and experience it. And I know we're going to see a lot of bucks.
Right.
And for a 9-year-old who has a born killer instinct inside of him, looking at bucks is like torture. If I'm not going to shoot them, which I found out very quickly after like the first couple bucks. Like, he's like, Dad, why aren't you shooting? That's a huge buck. It's like a 2-point, like a wide 2-point.
Right.
Like, we're not looking for that kind of a buck, son. So he got to see a handful of bucks. But the first day we get there, I have this idea, like, I want to start just kind of like getting a lay of where the deer are hanging. Which zone are they in? Are they still coming down out of the high country? It was looking like it was going to be a great forecast for the snow. Like, we were going to get some animals. Like, me and you talk like, oh, man, it's going to be prime. Like, they're going to be pushing those deer out of the back country.
Yeah.
And then the day that I left, like, the whole forecast shifted. And it was like 20 degrees warmer than what they were saying it was going to be. The snow was not going to happen. Instead of being snow, it was going to be all rain every day. And so I'm just like, shit, And so that part sucks. And then I'm like, well, we're going to figure out where these deer are. So we do a loop from our camp, which is, already up in the wilderness a little bit, and did this huge loop around. It's about 75 miles on gravel.
Oh, shit.
75 miles on gravel. And
that's a long ways.
Dude, I peeked through every big glassing point, every single place I could try to look, and like, we did not see a doe in that entire stretch, and we all the way through to prime time.
Wow.
And then what I did find, though, was as soon as I got up in the snow line, which was 4,500 feet to 4,000 to like 5,000 feet was where the snow line was, I found wolf tracks everywhere I went. Every road, every ridge. There was wolf packs in I went into basically 4 different little mountain ranges that were all part of that, like in that sections of the unit. And every single one of those mountain ranges, I found wolf tracks. And packs from like five dogs up to the biggest one was up off of like Goat Creek area. And it's a well-known area if you've hunted Winthrop or whatever. Goat Creek's it's like right out of Musama, right? There was what looked to be a pack of like 20 dogs that were running that whole section from there, like Font Peak all the way over to Goat Creek. And so nothing, like and snow doesn't lie. Like, yeah, you might not see deer if you're not good at spotting deer, or if they're just like hiding in the thick shit.
You can see tracks.
But you're going to see tracks in the snow, right? Like they're going to be crossing down over roads and stuff. Did not cut one set of deer tracks up in the higher stuff.
Wow.
Not until I got down to hugging the valley and the very foothills at the bottom of the valley. That's where I started seeing like a little bit of deer tracks. And then right at the edge of the valley, like basically edge of timberline, is where we started seeing our first deer. So that was like a pretty quick figuring out that there wasn't a lot going on up in the higher elevation stuff. So I'm like, well, I better not waste a lot of time doing that. But I had to check out each range because you never know. Like, I'm looking for a big migrating backcountry mule deer coming down out of the high shit.
Right.
Like, I just wanted to see if it was different in each range, which it wasn't. And as soon as I went up in there and didn't see tracks and just saw wolf tracks, it's like, well, lost cause here, lost cause here, lost cause here. So
that sucks.
Couple days to figure all that out. And I got my son with me. We were still seeing bucks, but they were all down at the bottom, like down in the valley. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to focus on hunting around the valley. There's some wildlife areas down in there that give some pretty big chunks. They're part of their wintering areas. And we were seeing tons of deer down there, like tons of does. And I'm like, that's what we're looking for.
How much is public? Like, how much can you hunt?
I'd say probably, I don't know how many acres in total these wildlife ranges are. Probably each side would be maybe 10,000 acres. Not super huge, but not like they're not small by any means.
Like
either.
where you're seeing the deer, though, like a lot of public, or
no,
just
little
small
little wildlife areas that are owned by WDFW.
Okay,
that are part of their wintering range, basically. Gotcha. And that's where I started seeing all the other hunters. So like first we drive in there, and me and my son, like, we start seeing does like off the road in the public area. And I was like, man, that's a good sign. Like, at least we're seeing deer here. If there's does here, there's bucks here. I guarantee. That means peak rut.
Right.
And so we park at this little parking area, and we start walking in. This is the first full day. And we park at this little pull off like parking area for WDFW. And we drive, I don't know, probably a quarter mile, and then there's like a nice little parking area, like for people to walk trails.
Right.
And there's a lot of people walking trails. Like
when you're there?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Like they're like mountain biking. This is Winthrop now, so they've turned all these trail systems in like mountain bike trail systems.
Dude, it's so
like,
yuppie over there.
Dude, 100%. Dude, it's like
Subarus and spandex.
Dude, like 10 years ago, it was like yuppie.
Yeah, now
so
it's.
You imagine what it is now?
So like you get there to the parking lot, and there's like 10 rigs, and I'm trying to think, okay, that's not 100, that's not 100, that's not 100, that's not 100. I'm like, I don't think there's anyone else hunting in here. But you're just running into people nonstop on the trail. I'm like, dude, this is just crazy. This is wild to me. But I'm like, this is where the deer are. So we hike up to this little point, and we see a couple deer up to the north of us, and then we see some more deer, and then we see some more deer. I'm like, this is a good zone. Like, there's got to be some bucks in here. And it's getting towards the end of shooting light, kind of, probably within 40 minutes. And I'm glassing all these different deer with my spotter, and I find a couple bucks, nothing big, like 2-3 point, little, call them Winthrop 3 points,
right.
little crab claw looking. Yeah. So, and I'm like, and they're rutting hard, they're just dogging does, and I'm like, oh, this is good. This is good.
Yeah.
Right. And like, finally we're in it now, and I see. Down in the bottom, I see this doe, and I start getting the spotter on it, and then my son goes, Dad, there's a huge buck. Dad, there's a huge buck. And I'm just thinking, every deer is a huge buck, like,
right.
even if it's a doe, right?
Yeah.
But he's got better eyesight than I do. And it's about 500 yards away, and I see this deer boom, 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 just like running down through this sage,
right.
dogging a doe. I'm like, oh, I don't even have to put glass to know it's a buck.
Right.
And, finally I get the glass on. I'm like, oh, that is a nice buck. Like, it's a good buck. And it's kind of deceiving because it looks like a solid buck, but I can't. It's hard because it's in the sage, and the light's kind of lower a little bit anyway.
Oh, yeah.
And it's downhill, so there's nothing like skylining it anywhere. And I'm trying to figure out, and I'm like, I can see it's got a good frame. It's got deep forks. And I'm like, it's a solid, like, I'd shoot it every single day out of the week. Right. On any tag but this tag. Yeah. And I'm watching it, and my son's just losing his mind. Like, he's just like, Dad, it's a huge buck. We got to shoot that buck, Dad. You got to shoot that buck. That's the biggest buck we've seen. I'm like, son, it's only been like, this is like day 2, and it's like our first full day, Right. I'm like, I don't know. I think we could do better. And he's like, Dad, we're not going to see another buck bigger than that buck. You got to shoot that buck.
He's giving you the sales pitch,
dude, 100%. And so I'm watching, I'm getting video and stuff, and then finally it walks into this spot where it's kind of like the grass is kind of like yellow behind it, and I can see its frame more. Mm-hmm. And it turns its head a certain direction, and I see that it's wide past its ears, and I see off the front, I think it was the front fork on its left, it kind of like kicked out, its front main beam fork kind of kicked out like this, and then it had a sticker that coming off the front side.
Dead. Instantly dead.
And then I can see that its eye guards are taller, and they're like super gnarly, and there's like little stickers coming off the eye guards all over.
So dead.
And then he turns his head, and I see his frame, and I see how its back forks are super deep, front forks are really deep, and I'm just like, man, that's a solid buck, probably pushing 180. Then between the 170, 180 range, and I'm just like, and then it hits me. I'm like, I'm here with my son. He's only here for a couple days.
Right.
There's a just beautiful buck I would shoot any day out of the week.
Right
in front of me in the open on public land. And then I'm like, what are you doing? We should shoot this buck. So then I go, okay, I'm going to go. We're going to go and see if we can close the gap and shoot this buck. And by now it's moved off. It's probably 600-ish. And I probably could have laid prone, but where I was at, it was on a flat, and there was no way for me to get prone in the sage, because once you got down, you can't see shit. And so I'm like, I have to like get to a different shooting area or a different platform to be able to lay prone and shoot this buck. And there's a trail, and little did I know that the trail went right to the buck if I would have just taken it. But I didn't. I had never been in there. I'd never seen the lay of the land. I didn't know the unit. I didn't know how the land was. And so I thought, if we drop down in this aspen bottom, I'll lose this buck and I'll never pick him up again. And so I was like, I didn't want to give up. And it's a pro tip, by the way, giving up elevation, a lot of times you will lose sight of it, and then you won't find him again.
Right.
You know, but in this situation, that wouldn't have happened, which, you know, same scenario, Doug. Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yep.
You know? So I move over, and I'm moving down, and I'm like, oh, we're just going to drop in there, and we're going to go over to him, and if we'll see what happens. We blow him out, we blow him out. We don't find him, we don't find him. We come back tomorrow and try to pick him up, or just keep hunting, find a different buck. Who knows? And so we start to go down there, and as we're going down there, I see this nice little flat bench on a nice little like rolling hill off the side. It's all grass, and I'm like, perfect. I could probably shoot from there. So I go over there. By now, the deer had kept moving away from me, like pushing this doe. And so again, I range, and it's like 565, and I'm like, okay. So I hit my dial. I get it perfect set. Then I'm trying to get the phone scope on it because I want to be able to track my shot at that range.
Right.
I'm by myself, basically, with my son. My son's not going to be, you know, yelling out.
Dude, complete rodeo.
You know, yeah. So I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to range, trying to run my dial, trying to record. Then I get prone. Then I get set up. Then I'm, you know, trying to get my elbow rested. And
your boy's probably losing his mind.
And he's losing his mind the whole time. Dad, why aren't you shooting? What are you doing?
Dad, shoot.
And then,
doesn't it sound like somebody?
I know. I don't know where he gets them from.
No, I don't ever do that. These guys are full of shit.
Taste of his own medicine.
Dude, 100%, dude. And so then the buck just kept pushing that doe. Just kept pushing it and pushing it. And so he's moving constantly.
Dude,
and he's going from like, you know, 30, 40 yards at a time.
Right.
And so I have to keep ranging him.
Oh, dude.
Because it's like, you know, I mean, you know.
Oh, yeah.
At, you know, 600 yards, 40 yards difference is
it's a big difference.
It's a big difference.
Yeah.
So, and if I've learned anything with hunting with Kris and other people who shoot long range, it's that you want to have, if you're shooting long range, anything I'd say past 450, you want to have your shit straight. Like, you don't want to just willy-nilly Kentucky windage, just aim high, crack a round off, because most likely you're going to screw something up. And so I'm trying to do it all right, and I'm having a hell of a time getting my elbow planted. And I should have went with the 4x24 VX6 instead of the 4x18, which is what I had on.
3-18,
Yeah. and I'm just like, man, I really wish I had that extra power in this scope right now, because I'm on this deer, and the deer looks tiny, you know, at 600 yards.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, it kind of like, I've done this, dude, I'm 15 minutes in, playing around back and forth, trying to get everything perfect, and then the deer running off, and then my rest being shot, and then having to readjust, and maybe not 15 minutes. It felt like 15 minutes. It was probably only like 5.
We'll call it 15.
Yeah. And finally, I'm just like, it hits me. I'm like, you're just going to have to get your dial set and just hope that the thing's on it, and then just shoot it. So I do that, and I hit range, and then for some reason in my head, I don't know why I thought this, but I thought, oh, you should probably give it an extra couple clicks. I think it was because I was going off of Doug's dope sheet that we had been using, which we were both shooting fine off of, but I had to make a little adjustment because I was zeroed for 100 and he's zeroed for 200. So in my head, I'm like, I got to give it an extra couple clicks, but I think I had already pre-planned for that on the previous dial or something. And so I gave it probably a couple little clicks too much for my MOA, and all of a sudden I'm just like, okay, I feel good. All right, now's the moment. And I squeeze off, and you can see it you'll see a clip of it. Bullets flying in perfect for left and right, like coming in the kill zone, and it just boom, freaking skims the top of his back, basically. And I don't know this.
Right.
All I see is I'm on this deer, and I see, boom, the deer hit the dirt, like the old, just hammered him.
The old high shoulder shot.
Yeah, and I heard the impact too.
Right.
Because that's the other thing. It's like if I get knocked off the gun and I can't see exactly, a lot of times I'll just listen and just hear that, it's like that hollow thud.
Yeah.
And so I know it's impact. By the way that Easton's reacting, I know that the deer is down, because he's like, you smoked him, Dad, you smoked him,
Right.
And I look up at the screen, because I like sit up, and I look up at the screen, and I see him laying on the ground doing the kick, and I'm like, oh, he's toasted.
Right.
And so my son's like, gives me a big hug. He's like, you got him, Dad, you got him.
You're the best.
You're the best dad ever.
You're so much better than Chris.
Yeah. And, we're celebrating. And then I just like glance over at the screen again, and I see it sitting up with its head up. And I'm like, hold on, son. I think I have to shoot again. Because I'm like, I'm not taking any chances, right?
Right.
And so I get on the gun again, and now I'm like, the light's really fading fast, and it's like, what it's like. It's overcast, so it's like it's getting darker sooner than it should even.
Right.
And when it's going down, it's like you're losing light fast. And I'm like, I need to shoot this deer again, because it's a long way over there, and if I go over there, like, I'm not shooting this deer in the dark,
Right.
And so I get set what I thought again, and at this point I had not even watched the footage from the first shot, so I didn't know that I hit high.
Right.
I thought probably hit him in the guts or something, like pulled a little bit when I shot. And so I rack another round and get on him, and he's like kind of sitting up, and I don't really have a lot to shoot because it's like he's laying down. And so I'm just like, I have like a little bit, and I think I just held high on him on that point.
Right.
Because I was like, I'll just try to dump one in there on his high shoulder and just put him down. And the bullet just goes pump like a foot high. And I'm like, oh, shit. And I saw that.
Right.
And then I'm just like sitting there, and I rack another round, and I'm getting ready to try to shoot him again. And all of a sudden he's just like, I healed myself. And just like gets up, and like his back legs start working, and he just like they're a little wobbly.
Right.
And he just runs downhill out of the frame. And then I lose track of him because it's getting darker, and it's 600 yards away.
Right.
And I'm just like, and I immediately, when I watched the footage, so I rewind back, I'm like, what the hell happened? And I saw it get up, but I didn't see how it ran off or anything. And then when I rewinded the footage and watched it back, I just immediately got that sick feeling like, uh-oh, that isn't good. Like, deers don't just heal themselves. and run off. And so then I go back and I watch the previous shot, the first shot.
Right.
And I can see how high it hit. And I thought, dude, if it hit that high, it's going to break his back.
Right.
Or I didn't break his back. And that deer could be gone in the next county.
Right.
Could be fine.
Right.
But how wobbly his legs looked when he ran off, I thought, maybe he just went down to the bottom and bedded up and come back in the morning. Because I'm like, I'm not going to go and chase this deer all night with my son in the dark.
Yeah.
And so we're heading back, and I have to explain to my son, like, we got to leave him overnight, and he doesn't quite understand that yet.
He's dying.
He's
Dude,
like,
it's so hard.
what are you talking about? The deer's dead down there, Dad. I'm like, son, let me tell you some stories.
Right.
You know, like told him some horror stories about why we don't, you know, if they're still alive, like, and you don't know where they are and you can't shoot them again by pushing them and then losing them.
Yeah.
And so we back out and still, like, the whole night, it's like a sleepless night, and I'm thinking over and over again, like, dude, it looked like it had to have broke his back, like 300 PRC. I watched the video a million times, but he didn't break his back because his back leg started working. Like, maybe he's messed up in the bottom, you know, and maybe I'll go sneak in on him tomorrow, and he's still going to be alive down there and shoot him again. And I'm just like, there's a million things running through my head.
Right.
So we get up super early. We go there in the dark. We get there right at first light. And on our way in there, there's two sides of this wildlife unit. There's like a road that splits the two sides. It's gravel. And on the way in there, there's like this little lake off the side. And I remember we're coming in, and I saw all these deer standing down by the lake, and I could tell there was a big buck down there with a bunch of does. And I was just like, I stopped for a second. I started to grab my binoculars, and I just said, you know what? It doesn't matter, because we got to go look for my buck. And if I see a giant buck down there, it's not going to be good. Like, we can't.
Right.
Like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about going down and killing a buck when I think I might still have, you know, a chance at my buck.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so we decided to go up and just go into where we were supposed to go and look for my buck. And we pull up to the same parking area. And as we're getting out, there's a woman and a man there. And they're in Hunter Orange getting their stuff ready. And just to be courteous to them, like, I wasn't trying to deter them from going in there.
Right.
I was just like, hey, I just want to let you guys know that I shot a buck in here last night. And we're going to go look for it. And I'm going to be beating up that whole bottom of this section, making a ton of noise. So if you guys are in there hunting, like, I'm going to blow out like basically everything in this whole drainage.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys are welcome to hunt if you guys want to. I'm just letting you know, just to be courteous, not waste your guys' morning hunt. And they're like, oh, well, I don't want to waste my time. I was like, there's some deer down by the lake I saw on the way in here on the other side of the unit. They're like, okay, maybe we'll go hunt down there. So they take off, and me and Easton go in there, and we beat it up. And it starts just pissing rain, and we're looking everywhere. And I look where it ran through. There's no blood. There's no tracks that I can see that are like from dragging or anything like that. We beat up the whole bottom of the aspen grove, and everything's open. And I just, like, after about 4 or 5 hours, I was just like, it's just time to call it. Like, we have nothing to go off of here.
Right, dude.
And so, you know, it's just like a real defeating moment. And it was that day I was supposed to meet Tiffany up at the pass to drop him off. And so now I'm like it goes from hero to zero.
Oh, dude, that's the worst feeling.
You know, and I think for me personally, I've done it enough and failed enough at hunting that like it's not that hard for me to shake things off anymore, because I mean, shit goes wrong. You know, we know. Chris knows too.
You might talk about it for a couple of
months. you might talk about it for the next 10 years, but it'll be fine, you know?
Right.
And so we back out of there, and I go and drop off Easton. I love you, son. You know, like, we had a good hunt. And he's just like, no, we didn't. You know, like, just devastated. I'm just like
the realist on the trip.
I'm like, yeah, I know, it sucks. And
dude.
so, but the kicker to that, the stinger, one of the stingers of many, was on our way out. after the walk of shame back to the truck, giving up on the search, we're driving out, and I would look down at that lake where that buck and those does were earlier in the morning, and I see that lady and the guy with all their game bags spread out and their hunter tarp and everything.
Oh shit!
Spread out on the hill, and they killed a buck, and it was a freaking toad,
dude,
like a dandy, like non-typical looking drop horn.
I saw a picture of it.
Crazy looking buck,
dude. It was wild,
and I was like,
it looks like it has a moose antler on one side.
It does.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I didn't see the picture of that.
I'll show you later, Doug. It's so then it's just like,
I don't want to show you, Doug.
It's salt in an open wound,
dude.
Right? And so then my hunt continues, right? And I beat it up, and I look over a lot of bucks. I look over a lot of basket bucks. I look over some pretty nice bucks that I would shoot most days. And I even crept up on a buck that was very tempting. And I had him at like 25, 30 yards and just sitting there laying down, eating. And he had no idea I was there, dude. I got prone and I put my crosshairs on his eyeball and watched him for a while. It was like,
you could see it blink. Bing.
Oh, dude, 100%. It was so, I was like, dude. But he was just a big 2 on one side with an eye guard. And then the other side was like a crappy looking 3 or 4, but he was super tall and kind of heavy. And it just didn't tickle my fancy enough. And then I saw another buck, which another hunter shot towards the end, which I'll get to in a minute. That was pretty decent. I mean, he was tall. He was like a good buck, but it wasn't quite what I was looking for either after messing up on that buck that was probably pushing 180 and then, seeing all these other bucks running around. I thought it's just a matter of time before there's another good mature buck. So I hunted, and it was foggy, and it was rainy, and then it was like 50 degrees. And as I'm going, man, this weather is pure shit for this hunt. Like, this is not ideal.
Yeah.
Late season quality tag weather.
Yeah. You need snow.
I need snow. I need cold. At the very least, some cold weather to keep these deer on their feet.
Mm-hmm.
They're bedding up pretty early in the mornings, and then they're moving like the last hour. And so it's becoming really hard to look over bucks. The only way I was able to find them is just like sitting on glass in places in the sage that I thought I could pick them up and see their antlers sticking.
Yeah.
And that's how I found most of them, was just like glassing and picking it apart, which you know how much I love to do, Doug. Sitting on glass for hours, not moving and watching and trying to pick up deer.
Yeah.
It taught me a little bit more patience. So as I'm going, I'm realizing more and more my dreams of this vision of this big non-typical 200-inch deer are probably out of reach. I ran into almost every tag holder that still had a tag that wasn't notched in that unit, and it was more of the same. There's no deer anywhere else. Oh. Everyone had beat up all the same places I did, and they didn't even see a doe.
Right.
So I'm just like, dude, this is not how I envisioned this hunt going. And I'm just like, well, I'm happy at least I'm seeing bucks. So I know I'm tagging something, right? And I remember I was sitting down and I was watching this one buck that was, he was like a little 4x4 that like had little crab claws on the front. And then there was a little 2-point off to my right that I was watching too. And I was thinking, man, should I just like end this and go help Chris or
just end your misery?
Yeah. Because, you know how it is. Once you have such a big failure.
Oh, dude.
And it kind of like takes the wind out of your sails.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I felt after wounding that buck. And at this point in my hunt, I have no idea. Did that buck go off and die somewhere? Did he go off into the next county chasing does? Is he, who knows what this buck's doing? Is he getting eaten by coyotes somewhere because he can't run? And so it just kind of took the wind out of my sails. And
every moment of every day you're thinking about it.
Yeah, all day long. And so I'm sitting there and I decide, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to glass with my spotter, and I'm going to glass all these far off areas that I haven't really looked at much during the day. And it was as simple as this. I put my spotter on my tripod, and I go to adjust it, and I look with the naked eye, and I'm like, what should I look at first? And I'm like, that looks like a place a mule deer would be right up there. And it's like, over a mile away.
Right.
And I'm like, so I get it on and I put it on. And I'm not shitting you. I just like put my eye on it. And there's a handful of deer. And there's a giant buck pushing these does up into this patch of sagebrush.
Really?
Like the second I put my eye on it was like, wow, that was easy.
Right.
And I can see this buck is like, he stands out because he's much bigger bodied than all the other deer I'd been watching. And you can tell the difference between a mature mule deer that's like 5, 6, 7 years old and like a 3-year-old mule deer, because their body difference is pretty massive.
Yeah.
And so like you can see he's like got the gray face, big Roman nose, like big bodied. He's bulky, looks like a bodybuilder running around, and he's pushing does, and he's got like 7 does with him. And I think to myself, man, that's a long ways off. And I zoom in with the camera on him for a while, and I'm watching him, and I can see he's super wide. And I'm like, man, that buck looks like he's close to 30 inches wide. I'm like, I haven't seen a buck like that yet. And I'm like, and then he turns his head, and I'm like, man, he almost looks like he might just be a giant 2-point though. And I'm like, I don't know what, I'm like thinking, and for some reason it popped in my head. I'm like, I know what Chris would do. Like
full send.
Ouch! It doesn't matter if it's a giant 2-point or not. We talked about the giant 2 points.
Dude, I love giant 2 points.
And I'm like, it intrigued me enough that I'm going to go look at this buck, right? And so I make the decision, and it's like almost 2,000 feet of elevation difference from where I'm at, because I'm down at the bottom, and it's way up here.
Right.
And then it's probably over a mile from where I'm at to where he's at. And I'm just like, let's just see what happens, you know? Because with the way that it was over there, I could be moving and I could run into a completely different buck.
Right.
Yeah. And so there was a nice little switchback trail that went up to where I thought I could get a shot at. So I start going up that trail, and a little ways in, I'm like, man, I'm getting really hot, and I need to like hurry up because it's been a while. It's been over an hour now since I seen this buck. So I take all my gear off, and I'm just in my T-shirt, got my vest and my T-shirt on, and I just keep going up the hill. And finally I get to where I think I can get this shot from, and I have to drop through a little canyon and up the other side, and then there's like this big gravel bar, or not gravel bar, but like a gravel chute, and there's like a little knob there. And I'm like, if I can get to that knob, I'll be able to see down in this little swell where that buck was, because I watched him bed up with the doe. And I was like, if I can get up above there, I'll be able to see down in there. I'm just going to get the camera on him. I'm going to get all set, and I'm going to drop him right in his bed.
Yeah.
And so I'm creeping up there, and I'm making extra effort to be quiet. It's very still and like being like just barely peeking over. And I get the camera set up on the tripod. And right when I get the camera set on the tripod and start pointing it in the general direction, all of a sudden, boom, all these deer erupt. And I'm just like, oh, shit. And I see him, and he's in the back.
Right.
And he's bounding behind all these does. And from behind, he looked super huge.
Oh,
like,
dude, they
super
look,
wide.
They look so big from behind, by the way.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh. And I was like, he's at least a 3x3. And so I literally, you'll see in the footage, like I just run up, lay down prone, and I'm getting ready to shoot. And I figured he was probably less than 300, so I was just going to shoot.
Right.
And so I get prone, and I'm getting ready to shoot, and he finally stops right before he goes over this little embankment. And right as he gets there, I pull the trigger, and then I go, oh, shit, safety. Classic, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm like, crap, safety. And I click off the safety, and he starts, like, right when I go to pull the trigger, he starts to run. Like, it was like almost like I couldn't stop myself from pulling the trigger.
Dude, been there, yeah.
Like, he's, like, starting to move, and I'm just like,
You're like, no.
Yeah, and then I hear it hit a rock and go, and I'm like, shit. I'm like, that's not a good sign. And so now now I shot. Now all these other deer I didn't even see that were bedded down in the sage just erupt all over the place. And I'm just like, my God. Like, there's like 30 deer erupting all over in all different parts of this thing. And I'm just like, oh, there's a buck. Oh, there's a buck. Oh, there's a buck. And they're all small. And I'm trying to pick up my buck that I was going after. And I'm looking everywhere, and I can't see him. And then finally I see this group of does come out the bottom. And I'm like, I hit range because I'm like, I bet you that's the same group of does. And I'm like, okay, it's like 450 or something. And I'm like, okay, and I zip my dial.
Right.
And then I'm watching, and then finally I'm like, oh, there he is. And I'm like, I hit range again. And now they're starting to relax because they've already blown out for a while, and they're starting to like kind of regroup.
Right.
And they think, oh, we're far enough away.
Silly deer.
And so I get myself set again, and this time I'm making sure. And he stops, and he's facing me, and he's looking up at me from like 450, 500 yards or whatever.
Right.
And I just think to myself, that isn't a good shot at this range. And then I start thinking, I think I'm good left and right. If I shoot high, I'll hit him up here. If I shoot low, I'll hit him right here in the brisket.
Right.
I'm like 300 PRC zipping through there, that'll kill him, no problem.
Right.
And so I get set on him as good as I can get, and I freaking touch off, and I just hear the big thud.
Right.
And I was able to get back on my gun. I really concentrated to, like, as soon as the recoil, to get back on and see the impact.
Right.
And I actually saw the impact. Like, I was able to get recoil, which is nice because we had those Covix cans.
Dude, those Covix cans are freaking rad for recoil. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, I'm like, and I see the impact, and I see him just freaking fold. And just, like, didn't even flinch. Didn't flinch, nothing. Deader than dead.
Dead as a doornail.
Dead as a doornail. And I'm just like, oh, I did it. I got him. And I was so jacked. And so I'm just like, oh, sweet. And I'm like sitting there for a second, and I was watching him. I was on the gun for a long time, like way longer than I normally do because of what had happened with that other buck.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I racked another round. I was sitting on my gun like, you even move at all, and I'm putting another round in you. And he didn't move. And all of a sudden, off to my like left-hand side, like 10 feet away, I see something, and I hear, did you get him? And I'm like, holy shit. There's a guy like 10 feet away from me.
What?
Off the side of this cliff, and he was down there, and I'm like, and he's hunting.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, oh, my gosh, dude, I didn't see you there. Like, what's going on? I'm like, I think it said something stupid, like, was it not big enough for you or something?
Right.
And he's like, no, I was trying to get a shot. I didn't see him, and then they all blew out, and then I was just like, what the hell is going on? And so what had happened is I came in from the other side. He saw him from the bottom, and then it come straight up at him from the bottom.
Oh.
And didn't see him bed. So he didn't know they were all in this patch of sagebrush. And I knew that buck was in the sagebrush, so I was like, I'll get up to the knob, you know.
Right.
And he was just going in thinking that they were up there somewhere and didn't know where they were.
Right.
And so he's like working his way up. He got pretty close to him, and then they all blew out. And he's just like, oh, shit. Like,
that's why they blew out.
Yes. So it wasn't me. They probably saw his name ended up being Kent, but he blew him out, and then he was like trying to get his gun off and get a shot. And then, of course, I rip around off. And,
right.
You know, everything.
He's like, oh, fuck.
He's like, oh, my gosh, there's someone shooting right above me.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, man.
Public land hunting
That's
is best,
pretty
dude.
wild. How many people did you actually run into?
I ran into 4 other tag holders. And I know that a handful of people had already shot bucks on those tags. So it was like, I saw almost half of the tag holders.
Huh.
And they were all hunting the same area, and they were all hunting the same deer. Everyone was looking at the same deer. Everyone had pictures of the giant moose horn deer.
Really?
Yeah. Some people had pictures of my deer.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that guy was going after the buck I shot, and then because they had been beating it up too, and like they had been there a lot longer than I had, like 10 days.
Oh, shit.
Or something like that, or maybe a week or something. and they had beat it up for a while, and they're like, yeah, it's pretty hard this year. And so I was like, man, I don't feel so bad about, shooting this buck. It's a pretty sweet looking buck.
Right.
And so then I get to talking to him, and I'm just like, he's totally cool. I'm like, dude, I had no idea. And he's older, I think he's like 60. And
yeah.
So we're talking for a while, and then he's like, my brother's up above, and his brother was coming down, and his brother had a tag too. They drew it partnership.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so he's coming down, and then we go, and we all like basically walk up to my deer together. And they're all like, oh, that's a nice buck, and I'm like, yeah, you guys want to take some pictures? And
right.
then they're like, yeah, we'll hang out here for a little bit.
Huh.
And they ended up hanging out for a while, and we're just talking, and then I'm thinking, the road's right down there. It's only like 600-700 yards, and they're like, they hang around. They're like, we'll help you drag it to the road.
Yes.
And I'm just like, yes. I'm like, this is great. So then I got it kind of fast and
right.
get some footage, and they're probably wondering what the hell this guy's doing with the camera and all
right.
that. And I try to explain it to them a little bit without being arrogant. And
you're like, I'm an influencer. They're like, what?
what is that? What are you
another one of
influencing?
these freaking losers.
Yeah. And in his head, he's probably thinking, you're the guy that shot my buck, you asshole.
Right.
I don't care what kind of influencer you are.
I ain't helping you do shit.
Oh, dude.
But they were super nice guys. So shout out to Kent and Dawn. I don't know if I should give the last name because
Where are they from?
they're actually from Cedro Woolley.
Really?
Yeah, close by.
A couple of good old Cedro boys.
I think they might even actually come to our fundraiser.
Really?
Yeah, super nice guys.
Nice. Thanks, fellas.
Yeah, so they helped me drag. Not only did they help me drag the deer down, but then they gave me a ride back to my truck in their side-by-side. And then they even gave me celebration beers at the end.
Oh,
What?
man.
Yeah, they had cold beers in the back of their side-by-side.
No way. These
that
guys
they
sound
had saved
awesome.
These are
for,
my kind of people.
Dude, 100%. Like, good dudes. And I was just like, you guys are speaking my love language.
Oh, yeah.
Cedro. Was
Yep.
it, hold on. Was it Busch Light or Coors Banquet?
It wasn't either. It was like a fancy,
Oh, jeez.
it was like an Icicle Creek IPA or something, or
Oh
maybe
my
it was
goodness.
it was some sort of IPA.
Highbrow.
Yeah, but I think they might be like Busch Light kind of guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe they were just like got the fancier beer for like celebrations.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Seems like it. I like that. Gotta go fancy sometimes.
I don't know, dude. All I know is that I was thankful to have them there and help me.
That beer was delicious.
Dude, it was like one of the most delicious beers, And when you're by yourself, you kind of want to have a celebration beer with somebody. And
Yeah.
they were my somebody.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So that
I
was
like that.
That was kind of a cool moment. And then I stayed one more night, took care of my deer, and I went and met my good friend, Mr. Kris Cantrell. And
Who-
he can tell the story about his great hunt.
Yeah, and he'd already been beating it up for
How
10
long?
days.
You showed up on the
Yeah, you at least 10 days.
15th, right? You showed up on the 15th?
Yeah, it was like the 14th or 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the 15th.
So I had been, I left here on November 1st, and I made some stops on the way. So I got there at night on the 1st, and then the morning of the 2nd, I got up at 5:15, had my coffee, out the door in the dark. It got light probably like 6:30 maybe, closer to 7. And then it said like you could hunt till like 5. There's no freaking way you can hunt till 5. Dude, 4:30 it was
Oh, yeah.
dark. It
Dude,
was
100%.
it was dark at 4:30.
Especially on the overcast days.
Yeah. So I was hunting dark to dark. I hunted dark to dark every day. I didn't know the area. It was the first time I'd been over there. And like you were saying, like I think I had 18 points, but like since I started hunting, I didn't know you were supposed to put in for tags every year, right? Like I didn't, my dad didn't really hunt that much, and so I didn't have anyone to teach me, right?
Yeah,
So-
I never did the same thing when I was younger, and I regret it because I ain't got shit for points on anything.
Yeah, it sucks. I wish I would have put in. So I think I had it was a lot of points, a lot of years, and so it's a whitetail only tag, which I'm not the whitetail guy, right? So I'm like, oh god, here we go. But it's James
Whitetail are tough to hunt.
which I learned the year before with James, right, in Idaho, and I only get to hunt whitetail, so I show up and I'm like, I knew some guys, Jeff from P and Wild had the tag the year before. He's like, dude, just go look at all the deer in the, like when you pull into Loomis. So it's a Sinlahegan tag, Sinlahegan Valley. You can pull into Loomis, and as soon as you hit the Spear Ranch, right? This huge, massive ranch. Guy owns a shit ton of land, and it's all ag, and it's in a valley. It's like the valley comes down, the valley floor is all agricultural all the way up to Palmer Lake. Palmer Lake's got a little more ag, and then it's the Canadian border. So it's this big, huge funnel, north and south. And in this ag land, he's like, dude, you will see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of deer. And I'm like, dude, that's what I'm talking about, you know. Heck yeah. So I had been there in the summer. I had driven over just to kind of check it out real quick and saw a shit ton of deer down in that ag land. I was like, dude, this is going to be so cool. And so I go over there. I'm super excited. Again, this is November 2nd. And I'm trying to see, like, kind of get the lay of the land. I don't know it that well. So I'm driving. I don't see any deer in the ag. And I'm like, this is weird. And then I'd see, like, one deer. And then I'd see, like, two deer. And I drive all the way up, and I'm glassing. I'm like, man, what's going on here? And so I drive back down. And this is right at dawn. And I maybe saw, like, 10, I don't even know if I saw 10 deer in that whole, and it's a I don't know how many miles that is, 20 miles, you know, like from Loomis to the border.
And it's like prime ag land too.
Dude, it is prime.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, dude, what the hell is going on?
Was there cattle on any of those in that ag land?
A little bit, you know, not a lot, right? But so I
have a theory about that.
So I text Jeff and I'm like, hey, dude, like, you know, like, I go, yeah, I'm not seeing you. He's like, oh, you're not looking in the right area. I'm like, okay, I don't know. So I go south, and same thing, except it's not ag. It's like it's super steep valley. Like some stuff you couldn't even climb. Like you'd have to have like rock climbing gear to get up. I mean,
it's like almost like cliffed out on both sides.
There's sheep everywhere, by the way. I see shit tons of bighorn sheep. Tons of bighorn sheep there. They're in town. They're up on the cliffs.
Yep.
And so I go through the valley, and I'm seeing like a doe. I saw like two little tiny bucks. You know, when I say little tiny, I'm talking like 40, 50-inch bucks, you know, like little bucks. And so I'm like, oh, I'll go up high. And so I go up high. And so I'm going to kind of fast forward. So I'm there. I hunt for 14 days before James shows up. And when I'm not like cruising, looking at like, because I'm trying to figure out the lay of the land. So I do that in the truck, right? So north to south, I'm probably doing like 40 miles. But then I start climbing up on top of some of these places. Like I see where the roads are at, and I'm like, oh, I think maybe there's some deer up in this bowl, but you got to climb up, you know, maybe a 2-track that's blocked off, and you get up on top. And even when I get like where I found this shed right here, I climb up on top of this, I'm not calling it a mountain, but you know, this ridge, you know, it's 1,000-foot elevation or whatever. So I get up on top, and I find a nice whitetail shed. I'm super excited, and I look around, and all there is mule deer. Shit tons of mule deer, but just mule deer. And I'm like, what the hell? I see a bunch of nice mule deer bucks, like a bunch.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, this is rad. Like, oh, yeah, look at these bucks.
I would have loved to have some of those bucks over my
Oh, my God, dude. Yeah, like the one buck that I sent you the video of. I was like, dude, that was a dandy buck. I mean, he had shallow forks, but, dude, he was tall and wide.
Yeah,
he
was
a great
over
buck.
30 inches wide for sure.
So I was like, dude, where's the whitetail? I go, they got to be in the bottom. Because there's some lakes, like it goes Palmer, and there's Blue Lake, Ford Lake. There's another one by the like fishing game. So finally I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go talk to the guy at the fishing game office. And so I go bang on his door. It's like dark 30. And he's like, oh, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, hey, you know, I got the whitetail tag and I'm hunting. And what's going on with the deer, man? And he's like, oh, yeah, Blue Tongue came through and killed almost all the deer. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, Blue Tongue came through and wiped out, like, especially, he goes, like, from Spears to the border. He's like, there's no deer left there. He goes, there's some deer left here on the south end of the valley, but, yeah, from Spears north, there's nothing. And I was like, yeah, I went up there and I saw, like, a dozen deer. What's going on? And he's just like, yeah. He goes, it comes through and it literally will kill them in, like, 24 hours. And it's like some gnat that gets in their nose or something. I don't know. I didn't look it up, you know, but he's telling me this. And I'm like, huh. Okay, well, what do I do? And he's just like, well, you're going to have to hunt the south end, and you're going to have to do some hiking and some glassing. And I'm like, well, I'm fine with that. But, like, I expected to see all these deer. You know, I've waited 2 decades.
I'm holding out for 160-inch whitetails. So.
Right? So literally, in my mind, and I talked with another guy who his daughter had the tag 2 years prior, and he saw a 160-inch whitetail buck, and she had the quality tag. So the quality tag, you can shoot a whitetail or a mule deer there, right? And she wanted to shoot a mule deer, but she passed. And this guy's probably shot more 200-inch mule deer than anyone I've ever met, right? And so when he says 160-inch whitetail, I guarantee you it was a 160-inch whitetail. You know, he's not an exaggerator kind of guy.
Right.
And I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm like, okay, like, but I'm thinking like, okay, I'll lay up and I'll shoot like a 150. You know, I'll shoot a 150. And I'm going around and I'm seeing 40-inch bucks, and I'm like,
at that point you're like, any basket, I'm shooting it.
Well, I'm just thinking
there was discussions, Doug.
Dude, there was discussion. So I'm beating it. I mean, I am beating it up. Every hill you could hike, everything you would, you know, like, I'm looking at, like, these roads that stop at private land, and I'm hiking in the mountain above, and I'm skirting private land and to get on the public, and maybe it's going to be this, and I'm glassing, and I'm everywhere, and I'm up in the snow, and I'm down in the valley. I mean, it's so bad that there's only one store there, period, in town. It's the Quick Stop. James just got a hat from there.
Great place.
Super great place. Super nice people, by the way. And like, I go in there, and the gal that owned it, her and her husband are in there. I was getting some chicken strips, you know, great chicken strips.
Woo!
And she's like, and it's the only place in town. It's like the gas station. You get your propane there. They have like hot food, you know, like the Stephen Ranella, like the brown food case, you know, like the deep fried food, which was delicious. And so they got a couple tables and chairs set up in there. So all the old guys in town would go when they were eating, you know. And so I walk in one day, and there's like 4 or 5 of these guys, and they're all talking. And she's like, yeah, that's the guy. And she points at me, and I'm like, uh-oh, what did I do, you know? She's like, how many miles do you think you've hiked? And I'm like, I don't know. Why? She goes, we bet it was 100. And I was like, I've been here for 2 weeks. It's 7 miles a day. Yes, probably pretty close. Yeah, probably 100. She's like, yeah, that's what we were thinking too. He hasn't shot a buck yet.
That's buckless Chris.
Yeah. And I'm like,
they all look at you.
I'm like,
there's the buckless guy.
Yeah, you know, and I was like, I've seen some really nice mule deer, have not seen a single decent buck.
That's like the scene in Escanaba in the Moonlight.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
He's driving through town.
Yeah. It's buckless Chris, everybody run!
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm like, okay, I know I'm not a whitetail guy, but like, I have the basics of hunting down. I can figure out how to do this, right? And the day before he shows up, I'm on a hike, and I'm working. There's basically just a trail, like you're talking about, like these trails that they cut in for the hikers or whatever.
Yeah.
But it skirts along this swamp, which is perfect, and then it's super steep on the one side, and so it's 2.5 miles in, 2.5 miles back. It's basically flat, dude. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna sneak along. I'm gonna sneak along real easy, and then when I see a deer pop out, right, I'm gonna see a white flag, because that's what they do, you know.
Yeah. So you're on the ready,
dude. The guns, dude,
in your hands.
In my hands.
Yeah.
You know, I usually don't.
Scopes turned down.
Dude, scopes always turned down. I'm at 100 yards of my parallax. I got one in the pipe. Safety's on.
Of course.
But like, it's at the ready. Like, you know, we're hunting with those MDT Hunt 26 chassis. They have a vertical pistol grip, right? So, like, literally my hand's on the pistol grip.
Yeah.
You know, front arc of rail, left hand.
Yep.
And I'm walking around, and I'm ready. And like, a spike blew out. Like, a single spike.
That's a dandy. You should take him.
And this is after.
It's a unicorn.
That's a good buck.
That's a good buck. You should shoot that buck. And I thought about it, and I hear it's starting to rain. It's just pissing on me, and I'm like, dude, and I'm hiking. I'm trying to be quiet, and across the swamp, that's where the road borders the edge of it. And then it gets super steep again, and that road runs north and south all the way through that valley, all the way to the border, right? So guys are driving it constantly, whether it be hunters or whatever, right? And so you can hear trucks go by, and I hear a truck, and I hear it stop, and I'm sneaking along, and I'm being quiet, right? And it's raining, and I'm hearing the pitter-patter of the rain, and I hear the door slam, and all of a sudden I hear boom! And I'm like, what the fuck? What is he shooting? I mean, it's close, right? It's like directly west of me, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm just like, what the hell? So I look over, and again, the valley runs directly north and south. So, I mean, it's right there. I'm like, Jesus, like, what the hell is that? And so I sit there and I'm waiting, and all of a sudden I see a little orange dot come above, like the not trees, but like the tall brush in the marsh, right?
Tall brush.
And I'm like, that's a fire. So I pull my binos out, and I'm like, son of a bitch, that's a guy. And and you know how like you can hear things across water clear as day? Well, it's kind of swampy, but I don't know, like it's like, I swear the sound's perfectly amplified. And I hear the guy walk up, and he says something to the effect of like, "Whoo! Shit, goddamn, it's a big one. You got a big one," And then I'm like, okay, I got to see now. So I pull my spot and scope out, put it on the tripod. I get my phone scope, or the all-in, right? And I snap my phone to it, and I zoom in, and I look, and I'm like, son of a bitch, that is a good deer,
Yeah.
And I see these two old guys, and they're high-fiving and hugging, and I'm trying not to hate their guts, And I'm like, literally, it was 832 yards.
Because they were road hunting, right?
Road hunting.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, if I would have just looked over, I don't know how soon before. They shot at 80 yards off the road. So I could have laid down prone and killed that deer from where I was at. Technically, I wouldn't do that because I'd be shooting across gravel road, and I don't think you're supposed to do that. But totally within range, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, son of a bitch. And I see it, and it's like, I mean, it's probably a 140-inch buck, And I'm like, and it was dark. I mean, dark antlers. And I'm like, dude, that's a great buck.
Yeah, for a whitetail, yeah.
Dude, those chocolate horn whitetails are just...
Yeah.
I mean, dark, dude. Yeah. Super dark.
A lot of the whitetail that I've seen recently, they've all had, like, really bright white antlers.
And most of them do. I mean, you might get the ones that are, like, they're brown, but they're not chocolate.
They're not chocolate, no.
I mean,
the chocolate horns just look so cool.
It was darker than that buck.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. It was black, dude. Yeah. And I was like, son of a gun. So, anyways, now I got to finish the rest of this hunt. And, and I'm thinking, well, where there's one, there's more. Because this is by far the biggest buck I've seen the entire time, right? Unfortunately, it's 80 yards off the road dead from some old guy. But good for him, right?
Yeah,
I'm just being jealous, right?
Yeah.
And so then I see this spike blow out and then nothing. And then I go to the store, and that's the big talk, right? Mm-hmm. Like, oh, you see that buck? Yeah, I saw that buck.
Well, everyone's talking
about it.
Everyone in town.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Buckless Chris was right next to
town over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then James shows up, and I tell him, I'm like, yeah, dude. I was like, man, I have just been beating it up. It's been slow as shit. So he showed up the next day. Someone shoots that buck the day before. And he's like, hey, well, let's go look at all these areas. And I'm like, yeah, the areas I've seen 50,000 times. Sounds good, James. And so he hops in the truck. Or no, we take his truck, and we're going north. And I was like, yeah, I haven't seen very many bucks in here in this private. And I was like, yeah, I've seen like 4 or 5 deer here. And we pull up, and I'm not shitting you. There's like 20 deer now there. I'm like,
what are you talking about? There's deer all over.
Yeah, like, brother. I mean, when you go from like 4 to 20.
What are you talking about, brother?
And there's a pretty nice buck running around in there. Yeah. And I'm like, son of a bitch. Like,
let's stop, and I'll get some footage real quick. And then let's stop over here. Let's get some footage here.
Well, did the rut really kick in?
Yeah, it was like, dude, I'm not shitting you. It was like when you see a rain cloud coming in, and the rain comes down, all of a sudden you can see it coming, and it hits you in the face. That was James with the rut. He was the rain cloud rut.
I have strong rut mentality.
Like, that buck got shot.
I brought the testosterone with me.
Right?
That was probably right when it started.
And then all of a sudden...
Dude, the whitetail rut is so weird.
Dude, like, it was a light switch.
When it kicks... Exactly.
It was a freaking light switch.
But at the same time, it turns off just like that, too.
Yeah, it can.
So we're driving around, and now all of a sudden we're seeing deer. Yeah. And he's like, I thought you said there was no deer here. And I was like, there was no deer here. Like, I'd seen some does and stuff, but like, as far as bucks go, like when we drove up that morning, we looked at that private land. That was, dude, I was like, oh my God, that's a good buck, dude. And he's like, oh, yeah, this is good. I'm like, no, you don't. I've been here for 2 weeks, like, let's look at that buck longer. So
I don't care if it's home private. I just want to look at it and see that they exist.
I did. I just wanted to look at it. And so we go up and we hunted, and we come back that night and we saw it was that first night, wasn't it?
It was the first night that we got there.
And then so we spot this buck, and
last bit of light.
A very last bit of light. And we hustle and we hump up through this bottom and get up on this knob, and it was perfect. Like, James has a camera, I got the rifle, I lay down, I have a perfect setup, dude. Because I can't pick my head up very far, so when I shoot uphill, it's really hard. So the ground needs to be like elevated a little bit for me to see up. And so it was just, dude, it was perfect.
Perfect, because it kind of went up on a rise and flattened. So he was able to like be on the edge of the rise.
Yeah.
And I get down there and I range. I was like,
was it 600 something?
I think it was like 600 something.
Yeah.
So I've been shooting my gun a lot, not far forward the gun, right? Dope dialed, no problem.
It was right around 600.
So I lay down, perfect rest, no wind. He's filming. I'm like, you ready? And I get on him and I touch off and I get back and all I hear is him go, hi. And I'm like, and I literally, like, I look back at him disgusted. What do you mean, hi?
Yeah, I'm like, it was high.
I'm like, it was a perfect shot, dude. And I know my dope was good. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And so and the deer's blown out now.
Yeah, just, whitetail.
Yeah. I mean, just 600 miles an hour. But I'm not kidding you. Like, everything was perfect. The shot felt perfect. The recoil management was perfect. The trigger press felt good. Everything felt good, right? And I'm like, how did there's no way I messed that up, right? And so anyways, the deer blows out. And I'm just like, my mind's trying to figure out, I can't computate the mathematical reason why I could have missed this buck, right? I'm like, there's no freaking way. It's a chip shot. And so long story short, I'm standing there. I'm like, and it's getting dark, dude. It's like we have like 5 minutes of shooting light left, maybe. And so we're standing there like, I don't know. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, there's a deer right there. And James and I are like sneaking up, right? And he's like, I don't remember what you said.
I think they said there's another deer to the right or something.
Yeah. And I like kind of look up and over, and it was that buck. So he bailed way down the hill, and we're up on a knob, and so it goes down and then back up, right? And he snuck all the way back down and around.
Right in front of us.
And then he bails off, and I'm like, oh, deer, and it's bouncing between the trees. And so I get down, and I'm like, I'm getting ready, and of course, they never stop, right? He's just ripping, and I don't want to shoot. And there's does, and there's just tails everywhere doing this. And he runs up, and he stops, like, just for a quick second. And I go, James, range. And he goes, mer, mer, mer. And I'm like, oh. And I thought he said 460, right? And I'm like, and there's no time to dial, right? So I'm like, and he's moving to the right, like he's faced this way. And I'm like, and I'm on his pump house. I'm like, I'll go up on his neck, because he's probably going to walk into it, right? But that way, at least I'm hitting meat, right? And I'm like, and I just touch off, right? And the deer just takes off, and I'm like, what just happened?
Like,
why'd the deer run away?
Like, it ran off.
And he goes, yeah, it was 260.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, 460. And he's like, no. I said 260. And we watch the footage. He clearly says 260. And I'm like, I got to get fucking hearing aids, dude.
Chris heard.
There's four, and I'm like, and I'm thinking, like, in my mind, I'm trying to think, like, I mean, because the thing is, like, I don't know, the year before when I whitetail hunted with him, the deer blow out so fast, and you have to be so fast to shoot these things, which is totally not my forte, right? I'm a long-range mule deer guy where I can, take my time and I can blast them at 1,000, no problem. But when they're ripping it, apparently 260, I'm just like, ah, shit. So I put it on his neck and I pull the trigger and he just takes off and we go up there and we look for blood, nothing. And I'm just, dude, I am besides myself. I'm just like, that's the best buck I've seen by far.
Oh, and it had a just daggers for freaking eye guards.
Yeah, like one of the eye guards was like super tall, and I was like, and he's just like, dude, did you see that eye guard? And I'm like, yeah, I saw that fucking eye guard. I saw the eye guard, James. He's like, dude, that was a good eye guard. So I got to go home and, soak my wounds in some Coors Light. We're sitting there, we're talking, and we eat dinner, we go to bed, we get up in the morning, and we go out, and it is, when I say pea soup, it was pea soup fog. Because we had the plan to go up there where that deer had been, right? And I'm not shitting you. You could not see 25 yards.
No.
I mean, it was so the whole valley socked in.
We're glassing it, and it's like fog. Like, it might have like a split second.
Where you can see, yeah.
Where you can see, and then we did see some deer.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like we'd see them for a second and be like, oh, there's some deer right there. And then you'd go and you'd put your glass up and like fog would roll in. And you're just like, this is bullshit.
It was so frustrating. And then there were some random dudes just wandering through the fog up there.
Yeah. Yeah, we're like glassing the hillside. And Chris is like, there's some orange up there. There's like two guys just wandering into the fog on the hillside.
Literally just walking like.
And there was deer right by him, too.
Oh, right by him. But they were walking like they were hiking. They weren't walking like they were hunting. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what are those guys doing?
Yeah.
No
those
backpacks.
guys were all over the place.
Dude, yeah. They were just.
We ran into them like 3 different times.
Yeah. So we're like, oh, let's go to the south end of the valley, get out of the fog. And we go up, and we see some deer up on this, like there's a road that splits off. And I was like, well, pull up on that road and we'll walk up there. And we walk up there, and I was like, those deer aren't there. And I'm looking, and I'm like, no. And James is like,
it's
no.
It's wide open, too.
Dude, like wide open. No trees, no nothing. And it's just a little bit of topography. And James is like, no, maybe up over here. And I was like, God, I don't think so, dude. I think they're over here to the left. And he's like, well, let's just walk up over here. And it's like 4 yards, 5 yards
Probably.
to walk up on this little thing.
Because there was this one little tiny, it was like, just like he
the
said,
smallest
tiniest
rise.
Little bit of topography. There's just like a little rise, and then you could see it like it was a little flat. And there was like one little tiny spot of that flat that we couldn't see, like probably equivalent of the size of the weight room right there.
Yeah, like small, dude.
And I was like, but what if they're standing there?
Yeah, and so like before we walk up on the thing, and I look, and I'm like, I don't see no tips of antlers, no ears, no nothing, and it's still kind of foggy, but I'm like, I should be able to see that, and I take like I walk literally like 4 or 5 yards, and James goes, deer, and I look, and I'm like, I don't see any deer, and so I got 2 pieces of brush, like there's like one of these, I don't even know what kind of bush that is.
I don't know.
You can see through because all the leaves are off, right? Mm-hmm. So there's like one here and there's one here, and I'm looking and I'm like, I don't see anything. And so I kind of scooch to the right, and the deer was apparently looking right at me, and out comes once the tail came out, then I can see this thing because I see this flag waving, and I'm like, and I'm like, is that a buck? Is that a? I don't know.
It's too late.
So when I first got there, I didn't see it either, and I just was like doing the old like, I wonder where, and then I'm just like, shit, right there, like 50 yards in front of us is this big chocolate horn buck, and he's got me pinned, and I looked at Chris, and I was like, Chris, there's some deer right there, big buck, shoot her, and he's like, what, where?
I'm looking, I'm like, I don't see anything, and so I'm like, because again, these trees are like this, and I'm like, well, maybe if I scooch over a couple yards, and I go, and I'm literally 2 steps. And white flags I see, and I try and I'm like, I don't see anything. And so he's videoing it, and he's like, dude, it's a big buck. And I'm like, I'm like, okay, Easton, everything's a big buck. We went back that night and looked at the footage. Dude, the antlers were painted black.
They were freaking chocolate.
They were so dark, dude, and heavy and wide. And I was like, son of a bitch. But anyways.
He was a nice buck.
So that deer blows out. We go back. Oh, what are you going to do? And
Old chocolate horn.
Going to haunt my dreams. So we go farting around, and we go back to the when the fog lets up, we get back up to that area, and it was
didn't we go check your gun right after that?
Oh yeah, we did.
Because you wanted to check your dope.
Yeah. To
make sure that...
Yeah, because I was like... And so I'm kicking myself because when I missed, right? And I'm like, golly, dude, there's no way my gun's off, And so we go and we set up a target at 450 or something, and it shoots an inch apart at 450, right? And I'm like, so it's not the gun, right? It must have been me. And then I'm thinking, like, the only thing I can think of is that one, and it's totally my fault. I know better than this. So those are the hand loads, right? With old my father-in-law, old dead John Bates, is loaded in these precision loads. So I got those 220 burgers that are loaded way out, right? And I have like 2 thou neck tension, so it's not tight, but it's not like the lightest but it's pretty light, right? But I loaded that one same bullet in my gun in those 2 weeks probably 35 times. So that same bullet went in and out of my chamber 35 times. And what I'm guessing is it compressed the load, like it pushed that bullet back, and compressed the load a little bit and shot a little flatter. It's the only thing I can think, because like I said, I mean, like, everything felt perfect on the shot, and I shot way over top of him, and that's just something like, dude, I messed up, I should have checked it. I should have noticed, like, the bullet wasn't as long, and I should have done this, and I should have done that, and, anyways, long story short, we shoot the gun. Gun shoots, lights out. So we're like, all right, now that we've made a bunch of noise in the south end of the valley, let's go to the north end of the valley.
Yeah.
And
I think we were heading back to go get fuel.
Yeah, we were.
And we were like, let's stop and glass this one more time or something. Yeah.
And it was like James had stopped literally in the perfect spot.
By pure fate.
Dude, seriously. So you're looking out and it's flat, and it kind of starts fingering out, and then it starts getting into like kind of like a little bit, not heavy timber, but some light timber, and then some pockets of timber, right? And when it fingers out, and on the top of one of these knobs, and it's heavily timbered on 2 sides in the back, but then there's a most perfect 10-yard wide window. And I'm not kidding you. And I'm glassing, and I look, and all you can see is from like the chest up of a bedded buck, looking right at us at like 850 yards. And I'm like, oh, James, that's a deer. Oh, that's a good deer. That's a good buck.
That's a good buck.
And he's like, what? And we're looking at it, and he's like, and then we're trying to make a game plan, and I'm thinking, like, because there's this, again, it's completely surrounded by timber except right in the middle, and
it's on a flat.
Yeah, it's on a flat, which is way elevated from where we're at. The only reason we can see it is because we're half a mile away, right? So we got to go down in this flat to sneak up on him, but then there's these ridges, and I'm like, God, I think if we get on this ridge, we get high enough to see him. And so we climb up, and we see, and we're this ridge kind of like parallels around like this, and we're going, and I cannot see this buck. And James is like, let's sneak, let's drop down, work all the way back and around, and we're gonna make this big, huge loop, and we're gonna come back in on top of him. And I was like, I don't know, dude. Like, this timber looks super thick. I don't know if we'd have to come all the way up on, like, we'd have to climb up the top of this mountain and come back down the mountain, right? And he's like, well, we're here. Let's try it out. And I'm like, and I'm doubtful, dude. Like, I'm still broke from the day before. And he's just like, come on, dude, let's do it. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. And so we hike around, and we go up, and some of it's kind of fucking loud, and I'm like, I don't know, dude. But like, the wind was good when we started, and then when we're getting up top, I'm like, crap, dude, we're gonna have to go all the way up and around. And it was like fate. The wind literally changes. Yeah, totally, because it was blowing in our face before,
going like this, and then it shifted like this.
Yeah, and we needed it to shift, otherwise it would have. By the time we got all the way up and around, they would have winded us, right?
Right.
So we get all the way up, and I'm glassing nothing, and we're like hopping over. It's all state land, but there's like old fences and shit. So we got to like climb over old fences, and we're trying to, you know how loud a freaking old barbed wire fence is. Like, good lord.
Chris got his crotch stuck on it for a while.
Oh, dude, I thought
I was ripping his pants open, and he's trying to be quiet, and then I'm like, hey, you idiot, and then I get on it, and I'm just like climbing over. It's like tick, 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 tick. I'm like, damn it, and I look at Chris like, shit, sorry.
Yeah, dude, we're just the best, and like, we're filming all of it, and it's like, oh, well, we're gonna give it a go, right? We're up here, and so we keep getting higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, and like, where I thought we would be able to see it, just double that. And so we just go all the way up and around, and we get up, and it gets pretty steep, and we get all the way up on top, and we're kind of sneaking and glassing, and now we're like, we've gone like, we're 180 all the way up and around, and I'm glassing down, and I go, James, don't move. And he's like, what? And I'm like, a doe's got us pinned. And I ranged, and it was like Do you remember how far it was?
280.
287 or something. 287 yards, and this doe is literally just dink staring right at us. And there's brush in front of us. You can see me from the neck up. Yeah. But I'm like, how in the did she see me?
Yeah.
Like, she must have just caught some movement or something. I don't know. So I'm just like, we're standing there. I got the binos tucked. I'm not moving. Finally, she keeps looking down like this. And I'm like, she keeps looking down. I think the buck's got to be right there, dude. And he's like, okay. And he's like getting the camera, and he's all ready. And nothing. He's like, oh, there's that buck. And I'm like, where? And so that doe's here, bunch of timber. You can't see anything. And then there's like
slight opening.
Yeah, slight open. There's like bushes that are like
in our way. Yeah.
Like kind of like trees, but like all the leaves are off, right? Mm-hmm. But big. They're like 10, 12 feet round, big, like, dude, super bushy. Not ideal situation. Super steep. There's a bunch of brush in front of me. There's no way I could just stand up and shoot. It's, 250, 60 yards or whatever. So I'm like, so I sneak just down through the brush. Dude, and I'm like, I got my pack on, I got my rifle. James has got the camera. I'm like, oh, where's the buck at, And so I sit down and I just rest the gun on my knee, and it's terrible, by the way. This is a terrible rest. It's just like I'm in the most awkward position. I'm looking through like 600 billion cubic feet of brush. And I'm not shitting you. There's a hole about the size of this freaking Coors Light can.
Now, hold on one second. Meanwhile, I'm up above him with the camera, and I think to myself, I know Kris. I know he's not shooting right now. He's not going to do it. He's going to wait until he has the perfect shot and is got a great rest and all this shit.
After I already had a horrible chance with shooting through brush in the spring.
And so I'm like, but then something inside of me says, I'm just going to start rolling now.
And
so
I'm
I
sitting
start
there
recording.
And in my mind, all I can hear is James go, "You're hunting whitetail. What are you doing? Shoot. Shoot. He's going to blow out. Shoot," And that's all I hear. And I'm like, I'm thinking, I'm like, my breath, dude, my heart's beating out of my chest. And I'm like, calm down, Cantrell. And I'm like, I get on there, and the gun is, and again, dude, I'm all over the place. And I'm like, bring circles tighter, and I'm going over that little tiny hole in this. I'm like, third time when it comes through, I'm squeezing that trigger, dude. And I'm like, here we go. And it comes through, and boom! I touch off. The gun goes like flailing. The deer runs off, and as soon as I pull the trigger, the moment I pull the trigger, I instantly regret it. Instantly, I'm like, that was the dumbest shot. You're just had a terrible rest. You're shooting 250-something yards. You're trying to shoot through a freaking 2.5-inch hole in the brush. If you nick that brush, that bullet's blowing up to a million pieces. It's so stupid. So I'm so disgusted with myself. And I looked back at James like, I just throw my hands. I'm like,
I'm like, because I said something, did you hit it? And he goes, I don't know.
But
when he shot, I thought I heard the impact. Like, I was like, I think I heard impact. And it didn't sound like brush or like a tree. It sounded like cabin.
Yeah.
And so it gave me a little hope,
I mean, it was everything about the shot as far as what could have gone right. I mean, my recoil management was shit, but everything, it was time perfect. I was coming through, my circles were the same, and I'm coming through, and I had the spot, and I broke the trigger at the right moment, but it was still a terrible fucking shot. Yeah. I should not have taken that shot.
It's a great shot. What are you talking about?
So I go down there, and the
whitetail wasn't running.
Dude, I was disgusted. It was true. It was just standing. Well, that was the thing. It was stopped. I couldn't even see its head. I could kind of see its antlers through the brush, but I'm not looking. All I see is this one glaring bright hole.
Yeah.
So I go down. I'm disgusted. I'm filthy disgusted with myself. I don't even know what he's saying. I'm not even listening. I'm throwing my hands up, and I'm so stupid. You're such an idiot. You missed this deer. You just do this every day. You're gonna miss a deer, So I go down there. I start looking for blood. Nothing. I'm like, God, he must have run down the hill right here. And I'm looking down the hill, and I'm looking for tracks. There's tracks everywhere, And I'm like, and I'm just so upset with myself that I messed up again, because I know better. I'm a better shot. I'm a better this. I'm a better that. And James overstands. He's like, and he pulls the camera out, which pisses me off even more. Now I'm enraged. I'm past pissed. I'm enraged. He's like, Kris, tell me your feelings. How are you feeling right now? And I'm like, I don't feel fucking great, James. I think I just missed this deer. And I walk up, and he's like, and he looks at me. He's like, your buck's dead right there. And it was a perfect shot. I timed it perfectly. Pumped the deer. It went 40 yards or whatever, and it was
if that,
dude, and it was deader and dead, and I was just like,
He was telling me when he pulled the camera out that you didn't even want to look at him.
he wouldn't.
oh, dude, I was disgusted.
From Chris's viewpoint, this is my viewpoint. So when he shot, I saw the buck kind of run through frame off to the left and like kind of dumped off this little embankment. And Kris thought it kind of just like went downhill away from us. And so he like had it set in his head where he thought this deer was going to be dead.
Mm-hmm.
I had it set in my head where I thought the deer was going to be dead. And so I go down there, and at first I looked down and I'm like, oh, it's not dead here. I was like, maybe it was a little further. And so I go down a little further, and pretty much immediately, like when I look off the edge, like there's this deep, it was like a ravine, but it was super steep, and it was all open. And it was just like, and I was like, if this deer's dead, it's at the bottom of this ravine. And so I like, kind of like walking down, looking. Then finally I just look, and I'm like, oh, there he is. And I start rolling. I'm like, I wonder what Kris is doing. I like kind of walk. I don't say anything. I just walk back up to the top where I can see Kris.
What a dick.
And I pointed towards Kris, and I'm like, and I see him over there wandering around for a second. I'm like, I'm gonna let him wander over here a little bit.
Well, the worst part was right before I see the camera on. Out of my like periphery, I see a deer blowing out to the right with his tail, and it looks like a big deer. And I'm like, there he goes.
There you go.
He's running perfectly fine.
See you later.
Perfectly fine. That was my deer. Good job, Kris. You suck. You suck at this. And then I look over, and all I see is camera, and I'm like, here we go.
So then I'm like, I don't even remember what I said. I was like, hey, Kris, how's it going? How do you think this is going? Or like, I don't even remember what I said.
Ask me how I feel.
And he's just like, I can just see it all over his face. He is so disgusted.
Dude.
He's so angry. I'm like, hey, Kris. And he won't look at me. He won't look at me because he's so mad that he's just like not looking. I'm like, Kris, look at me. And he's just like, finally, he's just like, and then right when he looks at me, I'm like, your deer's dead right there. And he was just like, you better not be.
I thought he was messing with me. I was like, you better not be messing with me.
Yeah,
dude.
otherwise you ain't making it off this mountain right now.
I'm like, I'm dead serious. Do not be messing with me. And I walk over there, and as soon as I see the deer, I'm just like, okay.
Let all the rage go.
Okay. And still I'm like, what a stupid shot. Why would I do that? God.
But it worked out great.
It did. It worked out
And
really good.
What was the best part about that, though? Or one of the best parts about it for me was that it was the same buck.
So we looked at the footage, and it had one super, super long eye guard, like super long. And
we're talking like taller than a Coors Light can.
Yeah.
Almost 2 Coors Light cans.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I go down there, and sure as shit, it's got the one super tall, right? And I'm like, you have got to be shitting me. And so it was the same buck, right? And so luckily James was there. We got everything on film, and he helps me. You know, we gut it, and we drag it out and get pictures and all that shit, and we go back and high five and do all that. And he leaves the next day. I go and hunt with a buddy for a couple of days on the way home, and then I come home and I just cut that deer up, and I send him a picture. I'm like, you are not going to believe this. And he goes, what? And it had a mark on its neck. It looked like it got gored by a horn.
Mm-hmm. It had a big gouge.
Yeah.
Like, on the one side.
But it looked kind of old, and there was nothing on the other side. There's no bullet hole or nothing on the other side. I was like, oh, dude, totally. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. And so I skin the thing out, and I'm cutting all the neck meat off. And on the other side is a perfectly shaped 30 caliber hole that perfectly pencils through, misses the bone somehow, like goes in between the bone and like the windpipe of his neck right here. So when he was that second shot that I took on his neck, that bullet just did not open up at all and just penciled right through. And he was totally fine. Missed every artery and vein.
Yeah, he was still rutting like crazy.
No blood. Kind of a gross little exit hole.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, you have got to be kidding me.
You just drilled him through the neck.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that probably going to change I was shooting those burger bullets, probably going to go back to the Hornady ELDX because if that was the ELDX, it would have killed that deer.
Blown apart.
Yeah.
Would have had a huge hole on that
Yeah.
side. Probably the shock value would have just.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you live and you learn.
But it was pretty dope that it was the same buck.
Yeah, same buck.
It's just like redemption. You don't get those kind of moments very many times.
The old redemption buck.
Doug did.
Yeah, so you shot a buck and got him on the second try. I shot a buck and got him on the second try. James.
How gratifying
I
is
shot
that?
a buck and that's the part of the story I forgot to mention.
Yeah, tell that.
My buck, the one that I shot on that first day, found out. So first of all, I get a picture of this buck alive from the other dudes that helped me that stayed over there.
Yeah.
And they're like, here's a picture of this buck. I'm like, that's the buck I shot. And it was standing on someone's private land with some does. And you could see the mark where the bullet zipped through the exit.
Yeah.
And then it was the next day, or that same day, I think it was actually, that I get a picture of that buck. So Matt has a buddy over there who lives over there, and he'll help guide guys that are friends and stuff, like around the area.
Yeah, because he lives there.
Lives there. And so he helped his buddy from high school who drew the tag, and they found that buck and ended up killing that buck almost a week later after I had shot that buck. And it was rutting and chasing does. So the buck
with a bullet hole in its back.
With a bullet hole in its back. It was completely fine. He said it started to heal over and everything. Like, deer are just tough, dude.
Dude, it's wild.
Dude, that buck took a 300 PRC to the back and then healed himself and kept running.
Freaking right off.
Yeah, he's just like, I'll keep running. This is my only shot.
Yeah, it's pretty wild how animals can do that kind of stuff.
I mean,
it blows my mind sometimes.
What's wild is that I shoot a buck, it lives. Kris shoots a buck, it lives on the same, like,
Yeah.
Like, this hasn't happened to me in my entire hunting career. I've never shot a buck and had it live and run off and then someone else shoot it. Like, that's never happened to me. Ever.
I shot a deer in the neck and it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, you shot a deer in the neck and it ran off like nothing happened.
Yeah. And it was like, it wasn't like a grazing shot. It was in the neck.
Like in the middle of the neck.
Yeah. And it was just a bullet failure. Just penciled right through.
So, like, I think that this is pretty much a good saying. Like, hunting is, you've heard the saying or the speech, the game of inches, right?
Oh, dude.
Hunting is 100% a game of inches. Like, 1/2 an inch higher or lower.
Yeah.
And you would have broke that deer's neck and it would have been over right there.
Yeah, if I'd have hit in the bone.
1 inch or 1/2 an inch lower on my shot, it would have broke that deer's back and would have been all over. And the minuscule amount of flinching or any factor that can contribute to that 1/2 an inch, it's crazy when you think about it.
There even is a factor. I think it just happens.
It just happens or it doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like anything could change that little tiny, that big of a movement.
Your human flaw is going to have more effect than that much.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. So it's just like, it's either fate or it's not fate.
Yeah. It was meant to be.
Or you're a shitty hunter. I don't know.
Let's not go that far.
I felt like a shitty
And that's
hunter.
our podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Well, those were, I mean, for how wild the trips were and how like crappy the hunting circumstances were for both of us.
Yeah.
We both walked away with really nice bucks. You walked away with a really nice whitetail. I walked away with a really nice mule deer. I mean, by Washington standards, those are both great bucks.
Yeah. I would definitely caution anyone that wants to put in for Sinlahican next year. There's not a lot of deer there.
No.
They're almost all dead.
Maybe wait for a year or two.
Yeah.
So after I draw it, then you can.
I'd let her restock a little bit. It was tough hunting. Yeah.
It was fun. It was a fun hunt, though.
I know some people that went home with tag soup on that one.
Do you?
Couldn't find anything, yeah.
Did you run into a bunch of hunters too then?
I did, yeah.
Dude, there was way more hunters than I thought would be in that unit.
Yeah, there was like 4 or 5 camps around me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, we ran into hunters a lot of places.
Yeah. Well, just because there was no deer, right?
Yeah.
So everyone's like, hey, if there's any deer, it's going to be in the south end of the valley. So, like, literally, like, within
Everyone's
eyesight.
congregating around that same area.
I
It's
could
like
see-
the same thing on my hunt.
I could see 3 camps from where I was camped.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, well, yeah. You drive the road, camp.
Super nice camp.
I mean, that's
though.
kind of a sign, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
Chris had a banger camp, though. Nice camp setup.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Beautiful view.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, you could hunt out of camp. Like, you could just,
Yeah.
you could sit
that's
in camp with a fire.
that's probably
and
one of the one
glass.
places in the state that I haven't been to yet.
It's nice.
It's a wild place. Kind of a very, it's almost like it's its own world.
Yeah. Super nice people.
Feels like you're walking into Lord of the Rings.
Everyone I met was super nice. Dude, yeah.
It kind of is, Chris, right? You're like, I don't know, what are those, the little short people?
The hobbits?
No, the other ones, the dwarves.
dwarves.
They're
Oh,
coming
yeah.
out of the rock caves like, ah!
Dude, there was a lot of rock. It was steep. There's a lot of steep. There's some stuff like,
There's caves there, too.
yeah, there's caves. There's a lot of steep. Yeah.
Got to see some rams. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bunch. Got some good ones on film. Almost hit one coming into town.
A lot of mule deer running around. We saw some nice mule deer.
Yeah.
Nice.
But, I mean, I think a lot of them come down that time of year to rut, you know, because there's probably a lot of does running around.
Yeah, that. So when you go north of Palmer, on the right-hand side is 209. So I was hunting Unit 215, but on the right there, 209, and dude, those orchards, there's so many mule deer. So many freaking, dude, there was so many freaking mule deer bucks. We didn't see any giants up there, but we saw tons of bucks.
Tons of bucks, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yep. So, yeah, remember, we're having our fundraising event December 20th.
Is the Eventbrite link in our Insta?
Yes.
It's in our it's on our
the
website.
Okay, go to the website.
Go to bearcountryoutdoors.com, or you can go find it on Eventbrite, but you can probably get to it easier from Bear
The
Country.
website. Oh, yeah.
Because there's a link that pops up right when you click on there.
Buy some tickets, give them as gifts. You know, all the money's going to HOWL. Good folks
Yeah.
helping us hunt. Appreciate everyone's support.
Yeah.
Hope to see you there.
We'll see you there.
Until next time, stay humble and hunt hard.